All right. Got it recording. And I'm just going to go ahead and jump right in here with how to write better headlines. This is one of my favorite things to talk about. Well, writing in general is one of my favorite things to talk about, but especially headlines, because I feel like so many people struggle with writing great headlines. But one thing I have come to find in speaking to clients about this again and again and again is that the same issues, the same pain points kind of seem to be in place when they're writing their headlines. And so I kind of came up with a framework that will help you understand what you're supposed to do when it comes to writing better headlines. So that framework is called WHAT, but it's spelled WAT, and that stands for write it last, avoid passive voice, and tell a story. So first, let's cover writing your headlines last. Most people, when they are writing any kind of sales page, white sheet, case study, things like that, they write it in order. They tend to write the headline and the subhead and then go into the copy and then maybe write a new subhead for a section and then maybe some more copy and so on and so forth until the page is completely finished. What I would actually encourage you to do is to write your headlines and your subheads after you have written all of the copy that you want to write, or at least have drafted the first draft of all that copy that you want to write. And this actually serves you better because you can create headlines and subheads around your core content as opposed to trying to write the perfect headline, the perfect subhead, like the perfect summary of what a specific paragraph or section is about, and then basically being beholden to that headline or subhead. It gives you a little bit more flexibility. So instead of writing in order, I would highly, highly encourage you to write your headline last and see how that works for you. Okay, the next thing in the framework, WAT, what to do, is avoid passive voice. So passive voice is essentially, well, eighth grade English lesson, it's when an action is being received. So like only makes sense. I I have trouble. I try to find the perfect words. You can totally tell that I'm a copywriter. That was not a good description. So some examples, let's go with that. Some examples of passive voice: was, were, am, can be, should be, has been, are. I have a whole list. But you get the general idea. So those are passive verbs. And when you write in passive voice, you are more or less, you're weakening your copy. And that is true for all of your copy, but it is especially true for your headlines. You want to avoid passive voice in your headlines because they're not engaging. When people are reading passive voice, they just with the monkey mind, I like to call it, it does not hold attention. Instead, when you're writing headlines, you want to use active verbs. Some of these might be, I have another list: discover, attract, avoid, inspire, influence. You can use words like learn, or how to, but I will say that those are very overused. So don't implement them often, but every once in a while, a subject line, or I'm sorry, a headline or a subhead will call for a learn or a how to XYZ. But yeah, just use a thesaurus. A thesaurus online is an excellent way to, if you have a word that you like, but it just doesn't really feel super inspiring or super powerful, try typing that word into a thesaurus and see what else it comes up with. And you can click on words that inspire you, and then it will take you down a rabbit hole of even more words. If you don't like any of the new words, just back out, go back to your original list, click on another one that inspires you, and just kind of keep going until you find a word that really speaks to what it is that you're trying to say. And then the last thing that I would say in order to write better headlines is to tell a story. When someone is reading a sales page, they don't really read it. I'm sorry. Most people scan. So really the only person who cares sounds terrible. Really, the only person that really, really, really cares about all of the copy that you include is you. So if you can use your headlines and subheads to essentially tell the entire story that it is that you're trying to get across on your sales page, whether it's, whatever it is you're trying to sell, your product or your service, you want to be able to highlight everything through your headlines and your subheads. Let me check my notes here. Okay, so with that in mind, if I told you that headlines and subheads are the only thing on your page that most people read, I want you to go look at your sales page right now, whatever sales page popped into your mind, or website page or whatever it is, program page, service page. I want you to go through your headlines and your subheads, and reading only those, I want you to be really honest with yourself and decide if people can understand what it is you're selling, why they need it, why you are the one that should be selling it to them, and how they can purchase it. 1, 2, 3, 4, what you're selling, why they need it, why you are the one that is selling it to them, and how they can purchase it. And if people cannot get those 4 things out of your headline subheads on your sales page, you need to go back and you need to rewrite them. And then, so that's the framework that I use, the WAT framework for writing better headlines. I have I'll share this with you. I took some notes on this, so I'll be sure to share this with participants so that you have these, but then of course you also have probably whatever your own notes that you took. But hopefully this proved helpful. And I will go ahead and take any questions that anybody has on this. But for right now, I'm going to go ahead and stop recording because I think we got through the framework that I want to be able to post for people to watch.